1800 hours Pakistan Standard Time. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Daman Zaman. The headlines. The Prime Minister has announced extension of 2 weeks in the partial lockdown across the country to prevent the spread of coronavirus pandemic. Briefing the media this evening, Imran Khan said low-risk construction industry is being opened to create job opportunities in the prevailing situation. The National Command and Operations Centre has recommended formulation of guidelines for Taraweeh and mass congregations in mosques during Ramadan in consultation with the ulama. The global coronavirus death toll has crossed over 120,000 with nearly 2 million infections by the pandemic. Analysts say the American decision to sell more missiles and weapons to India will disturb the balance of power in the region. China has approved 2 vaccines for human trials to combat the coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic. Before the details, we link you live to the Prime Minister, who is expressing his views after the meeting of the National Command and Operations Centre. All right, we will now go for the details. Prime Minister Imran Khan has announced to extend the sustained lockdown across the country for the next 2 weeks. Talking to media after the meeting of the National Coordination Committee in Islamabad today, he said, "We made the hard decision of imposing the lockdown in the country, which was very well implemented due to the cooperation of the people. Consequently, encouraging results are being received with the spread of coronavirus, slowing down to 30% of the projected target." He said the government took a number of steps to stop the spread of coronavirus in the country, including the closure of schools and educational institutions, cancelling 23rd March parade and PSL and all other official and private functions where the people could congregate. Imran Khan said if these steps had not been taken, 190 people would have died by now. He said the mortality rate is quite high in the advanced countries, including the United States, Spain, Italy and others. The Prime Minister, however, warned that utmost caution should still be exercised, as this is a killer disease that does not distinguish between age groups. Imran Khan announced to open the construction industry in cities from today, as this has the lowest risk factor in terms of coronavirus spread. He said there is consensus between the centre and the provinces regarding opening the construction sector for providing employment opportunities to the people. He said an ordinance will be laid out soon to provide big incentives to the construction sector to generate job opportunities. The Federal Cabinet, which met in Islamabad today with the Prime Minister Imran Khan in chair, reviewed and discussed various important issues. Briefing the media about the meeting, the Special Assistant to the Prime Minister on Information and Broadcasting, Dr. Firdaus Ashik Awan, said the Cabinet was briefed about the proposed legislation to provide facilitation to the construction sector. She said an ordinance is being introduced to control inflation in the country and to ensure uninterrupted supply of items of daily use. The Cabinet members recommended strict punishment to be included in the proposed legislation against hoarders and smugglers. The Cabinet congratulated and appreciated the efforts of Dr. Sania Nishtar and the Essas team in disbursement of cash to the needy and eligible persons under its emergency cash relief program. The Prime Minister said the Essas program has been started on merit and transparency to give eligible persons their due rights. Prime Minister Imran Khan has decided to further provide greater entrepreneurship opportunities to the country's youth by enhancing the loan limits under the Kamyab Jawan program from the current limit of 5 million to 25 million rupees. The decision was taken during a meeting with the Advisor on Finance, Dr. Hafiz Sheikh, and the Special Assistant on Youth Affairs, Usman Dar, in Islamabad today. It was also decided to curtail the interest rate from the current 8% on borrowed amounts, besides inclusion of all banks in the Kamyab Jawan program. The Prime Minister also directed for expediting the process for the distribution of amounts among the applicants after improvement in the current situation. The National Command and Operations Center has recommended that guidelines for Ramadan regarding Taraweeh and mass congregations should be formulated in consultation with the ulama. A meeting was held in Islamabad today with the Planning Minister Asad Umar in the chair, which finalized various recommendations for the National Coordination Committee's approval in the wake of COVID-19 pandemic. The forum was informed that to get indigenous manufacturing capacity, Pakistan Engineering Council has started developing 5 different types of ventilators. The forum also discussed guidelines for the possibility of phased easing of industries. This is Radio Pakistan. In occupied Kashmir, senior APHC leader and the chairman Tehreek-e-Hurriyat Jammu and Kashmir, Mohammad Ashraf Serai, has strongly condemned the uncountable massacres carried out by the Indian forces in the territory. In a statement issued in connection with the anniversary of April 1919 Jallianwala Bagh massacre, Mohammad Ashraf Serai said New Delhi has a long history of brutality and bloody actions for its evil designs. Meanwhile, the Indian Army and the police continued a cordon search operation at Tandar in Dachan area of Kishtwar district today. The Indian police arrested 5 youths from Tujar and Harwan areas of Sopor and labelled them as overground workers of Mujahideen. The United States has approved the sale of more missiles, torpedoes worth $155 million to India, despite the fact that it is destabilizing the entire region by intensifying the arms race. The Trump administration has notified the Congress of its plan to sell Harpoon Block II air-launched missiles and lightweight torpedoes worth $155 million to India. According to analysts, the Modi government's thrust for India's military modernization and importing weapons of mass destruction will disturb the balance of power and pose a great threat to regional peace and stability. They are of the view that despite of the fact that more than 60% of the Indian population is living below the poverty line, the incumbent Indian government is spending billions of dollars on weapons import. Pakistan-China relationship has proved the test of time once again during critical times when the world is facing COVID-19 challenges. China not only looked after Pakistani students in Wuhan city, but also provided necessary medical assistance on emergency basis for containment of COVID-19. According to an official of the National Command and Operations Center, a team of Chinese medical experts visited Pakistan to share their recent experiences of fighting COVID-19. China also provided critical medical supplies including N95 masks, protective suits, overall testing kits, ventilators and non-woven fabric for making protective suits. China has approved 2 vaccines for human trials to combat the coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic, which are the first vaccines in the world. According to Xinhua news agency, these 2 vaccines have been developed by the Wuhan Institute of Biological Products under the China National Pharmaceutical Group, Sinopharm and Sinovac Research and Development Company. The global coronavirus death toll has crossed 120,567 and nearly 1,936,697 people have been reported to be infected by the pandemic. Similarly, 458,997 people have recovered from the pandemic. The United States has recorded 23,644 deaths since the outbreak began, with 587,173 patients. American President Donald Trump has claimed he has total authority to decide how and when to reopen the economy aimed at fighting the coronavirus, but governors from both parties strongly reacted and noted that they have primary responsibility for ensuring public safety in their states and would decide when it was safe to begin a return to normal operations. And finally, the weather. Partly cloudy weather is expected in most parts of the country during the next 12 hours. However, rain with wind, thunderstorm and hailstorm is expected at isolated places in Upper Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Pothohar region, Islamabad, Upper and Central Punjab, Gilgit-Baltistan and Kashmir. Heavy falls may also be expected at isolated places during the period. Dust-raising winds are expected in the plain areas of the Punjab and Upper Sindh. And that is the end of this news bulletin. For more news and analyses, log on to our website, radio.gov.pk, and you can also watch live video streaming of our bulletins on the link facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News Official.